Hello, everyone, and here we have a news story. Before we get to that, I want to ask you to subscribe, like, and be sure to write comments in order to participate in the development of the community. Write how to improve my community, current topics in the stories you are interested in, and much more. I read and listened to all the comments. People write me stories by mail from different countries. There are problems with translation. I apologize for this. I will work on it and try to fix these errors. I want to thank everyone for their support and the people who wrote to me by mail. Broadcast news stories. New videos on my channel are published once every 2 days at 7 p.m. Don't forget to put a bell in order not to miss new videos. And now let's go. Hello, I want to tell you my story. We have been married for 26 years. At the very beginning, everything was like in a fairy tale courtship, wedding, and the birth of a son a year later. We were the same age and lived soul to soul for the first 7 years. Of course, there were always problems in life, but we calmly solved them together. After a while, I began to feel that my wife's behavior has changed. It manifested itself in coldness towards me, and sometimes she actions were disrespectful. We started scandals against the background of my jealousy. That was 21 years ago. My wife was calm and reasonable, as it always seemed to me, or I just wanted it to be that way. She was reliable to be that way. She was reliable in terms of loyalty and was a good mother. Once, during another argument in a state of passion, she told me that she was having an affair with another man. I was stunned. Everything inside me turned upside down. I still remember that moment as if it happened yesterday. When she saw my reaction, she was silent for 20 seconds and then immediately said she lied to me. She said it was said in a state of emotional arousal to annoy me, but the mechanism of distrust towards her was already running inside me. After that, we had a few more fights and I ever thought about getting a divorce. On the one hand, I loved her very much, but on the other hand, I was worried about the possibility of her cheating. Although I didn't catch her in the act, her behavior spoke for it. I was saved from bad thoughts by my 6-year-old man who knew nothing and constantly asked me to play with him. About a week later, we had a quiet conversation. She confessed to me that she had an interest in one man, nothing more. But she realized that the main thing for her is her family and the husband she loves. After that, we decided to continue living together in love and harmony. About a week later, we both started having health problems in the genital area. My wife went to get tested and I was waiting for the result. When she got the result, she immediately attacked me with threats. She said that I cheated on her and brought this disease into our bed. I was at a loss because I was always faithful to her. I always stopped all attempts of flirting by third. Party girls, I loved and cherished my wife. It immediately occurred to me that the result of all this was not just her interest in another man. She had sex with him and probably picked up this venereal disease from him herself. My wife accused me and screamed, but after a while she calmed down. After my explanation that I had not cheated, she began to reason calmly. She started saying that these were chlamydia that could be picked up in a pool or pond. At that moment, I decided for myself that I would not get divorced, because have to live for your child. I just put on pink glasses and pretended to believe this nonsense. I read the medical literature. It was obvious that this disease is sexually transmitted. In general, we were cured and began to live together further. As a result, we lived in Italy for another 14 years. But the hell started gradually, year after year. My father got her a job at his company. I knew part of the team and even had friendly relations with some of them. On the part of my wife, bouts of jealousy began. Allegedly, I had an affair with one of the girls. But I was faithful to my wife and everyone saw us as a happy couple. Maybe it made someone angry, but the accusations from my wife started to get more frequent. In parallel, strange actions and disrespect for me began on her part. She did not respond to my request to return early from corporate parties, which she often attended. She started coming home very late and started lying to me. When she returned home, I noticed that she was in the sauna, but she replied that she was at the cafe with the staff. But I couldn't stand it and yelled at her. As a result, she got scared and admitted that she went to the sauna with the staff from work. Then she added that all the girls were without swimsuits, just wrapped in sheets. It made me very angry. I knew they practiced going to the sauna because I went with them a couple of times myself, but everything was decent and the girls were in swimsuits. There were a lot of such cases of deception on the part of my wife. One day I wanted to pick her up from work and waited in the car near the entrance to the office for 40 minutes, but she was coming from a completely different direction. Although she claimed on the phone that she had an urgent job and therefore she was late at the office. My love was fading. Disrespect for her began to appear in me, too. I started reciprocating flirtations from other girls. After 24 years of living together, I've lost my mind. I started a whirlwind romance with another girl. It had gone so far that there was no point in hiding. I couldn't lie to my wife. I've been faithful for 24 years. As a result, I confessed to my wife 2 months later that I was having an affair with another girl. We had a calm and confidential conversation. My wife immediately confessed to me that 19 years ago she had sex with another man. It was an employee from her job. She had a strange attraction to him. During further disassembly, she said that she would never ask for forgiveness for this because she has a proud character. I got the impression that she doesn't regret what happened. I know perfectly well the man she cheated on me with. I always shook hands with him and we even celebrated a couple holidays together. I've been trying to digest this information for 2 weeks. Then it was like I was replaced. My life turned 180 degrees. All these years I've been living a lie with a cheater. My faithful wife turned out to be not the person I loved so much. My intuition did not let me down. It also bothered me that this man still wrote to her and wished her happy holidays. In general, I felt all this disrespect and deception. 6 months later, I broke up with my new girlfriend on my own initiative. We still lived together and my wife made scandals every day, but on the contrary, I was always gentle and affectionate with her. I always drove her to work and I'd pick her up after work. It doesn't matter how long ago it all happened. Everything pops up in front of my eyes like it was yesterday. It seems to me that in the last years of our relationship, my wife has a relationship with someone, but I won't know anything anymore. She swore that it was only once and it was a big mistake. She said that she realized a long time ago that you can't cheat on your loved one because family is more expensive than any romance. But I didn't believe her. Judging by her actions and behavior, everything was obvious. In my head, there's a terrible mixture of fragments of love for that wife who was before the first betrayal, and fragments of hatred that appeared for what happened later. Now I want to talk about sex. I'm a temperamental person and I need sex at least once a day. My wife has never aspired to this. Besides, she had never experienced a normal female orgasm. I realized this after contacting another girl. After having sex with another girl, all my complexes about my sexual underdevelopment disappeared. Even more than that, this girl made it clear to me that I can do even more than her ex-men. Now let's talk about finances. I always wanted to start my own business. 21 years ago, I tried to open my own production. At that moment, we were living on my wife's salary, but my parents also helped us. Soon my business began to make good money and we began to live without denying ourselves anything. But this happened a year after her first betrayal. After that, my wife's company went bankrupt. At that moment, I was fully supporting our family. I've lived for a long time and always had thoughts of getting a divorce in my head. But after my son got married, it was like a mountain lifted off my shoulders. After that, I immediately filed for divorce. My wife was against it. As a result, 3 months later, we were divorced. A month later, I moved in with my parents. I did not share the house. I left everything as it is. All I kept for myself was a country house and a car. It's been a year and a half since the divorce. At first, the wife hysterically tried to return everything. She seems to have calmed down now, but I'm still worried I can't forget all this. I tried in various ways to get all these thoughts out of my head. My subconscious makes me call my ex-wife and find out how she's doing, or go to my old house to pretend that I forgot something. Talking to her doesn't lead to anything good, but sometimes we calmly talk about abstract topics. But if we touch on our problem, then a strong scandal breaks out even if we are talking on the phone. Apart from mutual accusations and insults, there is no dialogue between us. I can't go back to her either. I can't erase my memory. I also can't build a new relationship because memories of the past get in the way. These thoughts tear me apart from the inside, like torture. If you like the story, give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. so as not to miss new videos. Now let's move on to the opinion of the author of the channel. The opinion of the author of the channel. According to tradition, I want to wish strength and patience to our hero. You should try to forget your ex-wife. Yes, I know it's very difficult. To this day, I myself cannot forget my ex-wife, even though we divorced her 9 years ago. But after 2 years, it will be easier for you. Take my word for it. Or there will be a new girl in your life who will help you get these thoughts out of your head. You need to start a new life and move forward. You must understand that there are many people like you all over the world. That's what this community was created for, so that people can share their stories from life and thereby help others get through it. Remember that time heals? And many people have survived this and started a new life. If you have watched to the end, I want to say thank you very much. I love you all. Thank you for joining me on this exciting journey of love, betrayal, and redemption. I appreciate your support and encourage you to subscribe, like, and share this story. Your participation and feedback are invaluable for shaping our content and promoting mutual understanding and community growth. Until we meet again.